Hey there everyone, this is Steamed Rice casting another game. This is for the most intense game award between AKtemujin spawning as the red Terran against yChSPR spawning as the yellow Zerg. The positions are bottom right against bottom left on the map Antigua Shipyards, and we will see a very intense game out of this. This was casted by myself and Loach. Go check him out at Loach. It's youtube.com/LoachSC2. But I'm doing a recast here for the nomination of this prize. So we do see yChSPR, better known as Start Hill King Kong, moving towards the top left-hand position with that Overlord to check if it's close air positions, but it won't be. And AKtemujin opening up with a supply depot at the front of his base, about as standard as can get. King Kong did do an extractor trick, to get out an extra drone. What you do is you build an extractor here. Your food count will go below the default maximum, which is 10. You build an extra drone, then cancel the extractor to go to 11 out of 10 food. You do see Temujin does scout in the wrong direction, so it's going to be slow scouts from both players to see where they are. I do believe King Kong will be getting to his opponent's base first. Temujin opening up with a barracks wall off, again as standard as can be. King Kong now stockpiling his minerals for that fast expansion. We'll go hatch first on 14. Likely going to be seeing a drone and then followed up by either extractor or a spawning pool. In the APM tabs, we do see that both players are pretty fast, and there was a bit of lag in this game. This is obviously cast from a replay. It is not live. You see refinery finishing now for Temujin. Probably going to signal either a fast Hellion play or some sort of reacted, or some sort of Reapers possibly, given that gas, but I'm just not entirely sure. Should see another supply depot going down here to finish that wall off. Temujin's SCV going off in that direction to see what's going on. Spawning pool has now started for King Kong, and just again, standard as can be, orbital command starting up for Temujin. So while the game is picking up, just like to plug our sponsor, cyberthor.com.au. Go check them out at cyberthor.com.au. They build computer systems and their systems look sexy, so go check them out. We do see a reactor going down on this barracks. And given that there's no factory or anything down yet, it's likely going to be for pairs of 2 Marines out at a time. Expansion has now finished for King Kong, and factory going down now, and another gas. This will be interesting. Temujin seems to be committing fairly heavily at this point to a 1-base play, but given it's only 4th minute, I'm not too surprised, but it won't be any sort of fast expansion shenanigans going down for Temujin with that fast double gas. Excuse me. We do see Queens coming out now for our yellow Zerg player, and a couple of Zerglings out to scout the front of Temujin's main and to see what's up in this game so far. So Overlord is going to be sitting parked out over here to make sure that there's no expansion going down, and these Zerglings will take control of the watchtower and drive this SCV out. These Marines sitting here waiting for the Zergling. They're going to pick off one Zergling, and King Kong does turn around to take control of the watchtower once again for sending the rest of his lings home. Given that there's been no aggression out yet, he does throw down a spine crawler. He may be suspecting some sort of attack, but if we look at the Zerg player's perspective, there's nothing. He can't see anything. All he sees is 1 barracks and 2 gases. So he's probably going to be suspecting some sort of Banshee play, Hellions, anything like that. So a spine crawler is definitely going to help against Hellions, and an evolution chamber going down to complete a semi-wall off against any Hellions, so they have to take a long way around if they want to get into King Kong's main. Zergling going to be sitting around the front to see what's going on, but these Marines will shut that down. That is standard play as can be for our Terran player, going for a 1-1-1, or as Husky StarCraft fuzz call it, the Destiny Cloudfist build. Will this Zergling be able to get into the main? He does, but it doesn't matter, because this Overlord has seen absolutely everything that he wants to, and combined with that 1 Zergling, the only bit of the Terran player's base that he hasn't seen is this area down here. There's not really that much you can fit in here. I mean, I suppose a Ghost Academy would be able to put in there, but if you see The tech lab on the factory and a starport, and that's probably what you're going to be that's not what you're going to be expecting. Temujin loading up his marines to move across the map now. There's no stim, no combat shield. It's not even been started, and he does build a command center to take an expansion with this aggression. yChSPR, King Kong is going to be moving around the side now. He did see that dropship, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of thing Temujin got. But a tank drop on the low ground, and he will be able to pick off at any of these. The Queen and the Medevac giving vision will enable Temujin to do quite a bit of damage to any of these Lings up here. I mean, he has 3 Queens out. There's not much that he can do against this, because any sort of attack by the Lings will be subject to shelling from the tanks on the low ground. And he does manage to he does save that one Marine, and that Medevac is on fairly low health. He does drop a Marine onto the low ground to protect against any sort of attacks. Banelings morphing in now though for our Zerg player. The lair is almost done. Creep is beginning to be spread, and transfuses on these Queens to make sure that they live as long as possible. That one Zergling getting destroyed, but the tank doing more damage to the Marine than the Zergling did. There are some Zerglings and Banelings out here, and he does manage to pick him up, hot pickup as Loach would say, and he does take out the rest of those Zerglings shattered ineffectively against this wall. So that little bit of attack by King Kong has been thwarted, but he has taken a 10 supply lead, showing how good that Korean macro actually is. This little bit of these Marines back here at the back are still threatening some sort of attack, but if these Queens and Zerglings can take out the rest of these Marines, then the tank on the low ground will not be able to see up there at all, leaving the Queens free to pick off the rest of the units down there. He's going to kill off that siege tank as soon as possible. Temujin does move a Medevac out, probably going to try and pick up the tank, but it won't get there in time. This one Marine is now sitting happily on the edge of the he could have lifted his head up and seen, oh, there's some Queens up there, and the siege tank would have been able to shoot it down, but it doesn't matter. There's a hatchery, third hatchery popping out now for King Kong. He's getting exactly what he wants. There's not much pressure that's been put onto him, and this can be seen in the worker counts: 58 drones to 31 SCVs. And his army is not actually that big: 18 Zerglings and 2 Banelings against Temujin's army. Temujin is beginning to move out now. And yes, another bit of lag, and that was me in this game because my internet is absolutely terrible. Hate Australian internet, it is quite bad. This one lone Marine sitting out here just camping, and he's going to be picked off by this Queen. These dropships are going to be these Medevacs dropping these Marines, doing quite a bit of damage, killing off a Queen, killing off an Overlord, and he may even force a cancel on this hatchery. King Kong deciding not to attack into this, and he will probably just decide to, he cancels the hatchery. And Temujin does deny the third, but in production tab we just see 12 more Zerglings on the way. Centrifugal hooks almost done, and +1 melee attacks is almost finished for our Zerg player. A macro hatchery in the main for him. These Zerglings are going to be rushing in. Mutalisks are out now. These Banelings are going to be doing massive amounts of damage, and these Mutalisks slowly picking away at these Marines. Temujin doing some brilliant lift and drop play there, getting picked off by those Banelings, and he's dropping these Marines onto those Banelings, making them as cost inefficient as possible for King Kong, and just turns around and goes home. These 4 Mutalisks will be forced back out of the Terran player's base as soon as they run into this missile turret. He gets 1 shot off on them, and I believe Temujin did trade cost efficiently there in the units lost tab. We do see 4 workers killed for Temujin compared to the 2 for King Kong, and King Kong has lost a lot more units than Temujin in the lost resources tab. Temujin is way ahead in that regard. We do see now the third has been restarted for our Zerg player, and that delay on the third really won't matter because he'll just take a fast fourth here as well. He's taking a clear economic lead. I'm not sure if Temujin will be able to catch up with him. You see how many minerals he is in fact floating. This one siege tank on the high ground just shelling that Zergling on the low ground, and Temujin going for another push now. I don't know how good of an idea that actually is, but if we look in the unit counting station, it is he has begun to catch up in the worker count, and he is in fact way ahead in terms of units. He's going to be attacking up. He is going to see these banelings morphing on that location. He's going to be rushing up to try and take that out. Siege tanks sieging up, doing quite a bit of damage to those banelings, and he does pick off a couple of them, ticks off all of them before they're able to do any damage at all, but he's leaving these tanks completely undefended behind there, and if King Kong smells what's going on, he will be able to take them out. He is positioning his units here, morphing in more banelings, moving these mutalisks up to flank from this location, and also keeping a couple of units in that position as well to do any sort of flanking action. This Marine will take control of the Zelnaga Tower, but again, he's left his siege tanks completely undefended, and he's going to be running forward with these Marines, and he's getting taken out slowly. These big shots off from these tanks, taking out a mutalisk, but he's still way behind in the food count, evening up a bit now, doing quite a bit of damage. These Zerglings, and he does decide to turn around and go home, but the rest of the Zerg army will clear out the rest of those siege tanks. These mutalisks smelling of blood, moving forward, going to be picking off a couple of siege tanks. He does get one. Will he get the second one? No, but he does lose a couple of mutalisks, and these mutalisks are now ravaging the main of Temujin. The natural of Temujin. He's leaving some army here to prevent Temujin from being able to take that third. This game will come down to whether or not he can deny that base, because Zerg never wants to be on even bases with a Terran. I wonder what Temujin's going to be doing here. It's going to be looking like a drop, but these mutalisks are back, and they're going to take out another siege tank. Very important play from the Zerg players. Temujin stimming all these Marines. King Kong is able to bait such a massive stim. Look at how hurt those Marines are for no real gain. Medevacs popping out 2 at a time, plus 2 weapons almost finished for Temujin. And I'm not sure if he has an upgrade advantage right now. Where are some? And doesn't matter. He is taking another base in the top left-hand corner. King Kong doing absolutely everything he wants to, but a massive drop here at the third by Temujin, doing a lot of damage. Will he be able to take this out? A counterattack at the natural for King Kong. He does take out 2 tanks, but doesn't really do that much damage. The third does go down for King Kong. Moving in now, couple of scans to see what he is up against. Moving into the natural. If he can take out the natural, it will be huge. These Zerglings rushing into these Marines, getting completely taken out. Not re-stimming the Marines, re-stimming them now. He will be picking away at that. I will take out that Queen. These massive drone pool by King Kong, and that should be the end of that. That many drones backed up by the mutalisks does take out the rest of those Marines. No real damage having been done to the natural. He's going to be easily retaking that third. If we look at Temujin's view, who knows about this base up there, but he does not know about this new base that will be finishing up here. Turrets are going down now in the main of Temujin, and he's moving across map again with these Marines and Medevacs, choosing to play an extremely bio-heavy play. He is going for plus and stimming in, killing off a lot of overlords here with these Marines. Great micro by Temujin, turns around these mutalisks being forced back. He is evening out the food count again. These mutalisks going to see if they can pick off any damage at the third base for Temujin, and he will be able to do so before the missile turret finishes. And these Marines now moving into the natural, but massive baneling hits on them, cleans up that attack completely, and he does do a lot of damage to the mineral line of Temujin, and he's going to be picking up at this third base, and there's nothing coming in for Temujin. Some Marines stimming, trying desperately to reach that base, but I don't think it's going to matter. King Kong will be able to. No, he's been forced out by Temujin. The command center is on fire. He is desperately repairing it now with that SCV. We do see King Kong has taken a 30 supply lead. You can smell how desperate Temujin is here to win this game. A couple of brilliant drops and attacks by Temujin, not able to completely shut down yChSPR, just King Kong's economy. We do see he is about 10 workers ahead of his Terran opponent, and if he's not careful, this command center could burn to the ground. No, there is one SCV there repairing it from dying. These mutalisks now taking out a missile target.